Opportunity cost analysis is where you review how hard your money is working for you now to see if there's anything else out there that you can put your money into that will create a better outcome. So for instance, you might have a property portfolio that's got $3 million worth of equity in there, but you might actually be losing money every week cash flow wise because you're negatively geared. But your goal for investing might have been financial freedom. And to be honest, you've got $3 million there, you're in a pretty good position. It's just tied up in equity. So the opportunity cost analysis is, do I sell down the properties that I've got to release the $3 million of equity? And then do I put that $3 million worth of equity into a property portfolio that generates yield? And a lot of people use this as a strategy. A lot of buyers agents use this as a strategy. They buy what they call foundation properties, low priced, sort of $350,000, $500,000 price bracket. They build enough of them, they leverage, you end up with 4 or 5 of them. They then might sell them down and invest that into a commercial asset or a HMO or an NDIS property or something like that. But how about if you invested just in a property that got the same growth as these foundational properties that all these other buyers agents use? Same capital growth, but it's generating such a high yield so that you're paying down the debt at the same time. Because the fastest way to grow wealth in this country is not just to invest in property, but to reduce your debt as well. So for example, if you buy a $500,000 property and it rents out for $500 to $600 a week, then there's a good chance you're negatively geared on that property. Your property will increase in value, so you'll have an equity increase in there, but you'll always have that $500,000 debt to the bank. And if you leverage into other properties, then all you're doing is increasing your debt levels. Granted, you'll have multiple properties that'll be going up in value, but you're never reducing your debt. But when you're investing in a property that's generating a 10% yield, for instance, you can use that yield to pay down the debt. So that debt reduction is happening. And the lower your debt levels are, the more attractive you look to the bank. The higher your income is, the more attractive you look to the bank again. I think you can tell where I'm going with this, guys. A lot of people in the market right now are getting tapped out by the banks. Why? Because they haven't got the borrowing capacity to redraw equity from the property portfolios. And the only way to increase your borrowing capacity is these 2 ways. Increase your income, decrease your debt. So why aren't you investing in properties that go up in value and produce enough income to pay down the debt so that you build wealth twice as fast? It's a no-brainer. So for instance, if you purchased a HMO now, let's pick a number, let's just say $1 million HMO, rents out $350 per room, 6 rooms over a year, that's $109,000 a year of income. You could pay down the debt on that HMO in 10 years time. And then in 10 years time, if your rent increases a certain degree every year, let's say 3% per year, you'll have gone from $109,000 a year to $140,000 a year in 10 years time. Your LVR on that property will be like 10%. You'll owe the bank $100,000. Now, if you go back to the bank and want to borrow more money from them, they're going to throw money at you. Why? Because you've just added an extra $140,000 to your income and you just reduced $900,000 worth of debt down to $100,000. This is what the banks want to look for, guys, when they're lending you money. Am I going to get my money back from this person? Is this a risky investment? And as soon as you show them that your income's gone up and your debt levels have gone down, they'll open the door and say, "Step this way, sir or madam. We'd like to lend you more money." And that's the game of property investing, guys. It's not how many properties you can buy, how much money you can borrow from the bank.